And everyone knows Noah do be biting.
What?
My new shitty cop drama about.
Oh please! Yes.
It's called As God Is My Witness.
But I don't know if the similarity comes from like we really love wizards. So you guys think that you know what? I'm not gonna put in any take here. I'm just gonna say it. Medieval fairs.
Okay.
Like Ren Fairs?
I think that's a yes. I think that is what he's talking about.
Okay, because like I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page. Go on.
No, he said he wasn't going to give a take. He wants our take on Ren Fairs.
I don't know. I've always wanted to go to one. I've always thought they were kind of cool. The people that do them are insane, like actually insane. On very levels.
I know a few people who actively participate at a couple, and then a couple people who actively participate all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a level of commitment that I cannot imagine putting forth for a hobby. Flip side, I love the commitment. Seems fun. But I've never been to one.
Well, we live not very far from like the biggest one, I think, in the world, but definitely in the States. And I've literally
I keep meaning to check it out.
Exactly the same thing. I keep like intending fully, oh, maybe this year I'll actually remember to go, and then it comes and goes, and I'm like, oh, well, shit. I don't know.
I don't even think it's a matter of remembering. It's more than it is a matter of I'm just not going to take the time. Because it's I don't know. It's hard to forget.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things that like I wouldn't want to go by myself, right? Like if it was just me and Shell, I don't think I'd have as good a time. I think it has to be something where I bring like Dave and Brian and you and Jackson along. Like it has to be like a whole squad rolling up.
Yeah, no. If you come in with a crew, it's going to be a good time.
Because then you can like, oh, like I'm going to wander off and go look at the people fucking doing. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast. I am fascinated by metalworking, like blacksmithery, I guess would be the right word. But obviously silver and goldsmithery, whatever. You get the idea. People who hit metal with hammer and make pretty. Very, very cool. Genuinely one of the coolest things in the world to me. I as a kid would spend hours sitting at the local fair. My parents literally left me for 4 hours at the local fair watching the guy who does it, like who like sells his stuff there, and just watching him work. And then they came back and they were like, "Hey, how'd it go?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it was cool. Watched him work. He said hi." Which in hindsight, shitty thing to do to that poor man. Like imagine being that guy, just being like, "Huh, this kid's really been here for a while. I hope his parents didn't abandon him with me."
Yeah, for like, just imagine you're like, I would like to make a horseshoe, and you're like, there's a child here.
Yikes.
And then you'd be like, okay, I'm done with my horseshoe. The child is still here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, archers are cool. People who do them are very cool. People who make I've seen people who make their own armor and stuff for it.
Oh yeah.
My aunt used to be super heavy into the scene. I have a bunch of her old like costumes and stuff, all made out of like, you know, shit tier fabric and whatnot. I would go. I would participate as like a, hey, this is happening 1 week a year. I'm going with 10 of my friends and we're all going to go participate and like, you know, get all dressed up and do the thing for like a week. And then we're going to go home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't imagine participating. Like I'm going by myself with my fucking homemade sword and armor and I will go and be part of this now.
Yeah, I think people who do that are, you know, there are some of them that I'm sure are very cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the specific my homemade sword and armor, that's a racist.
Oh, you know what?
That specific.
You say that's racist?
Anyone who's obsessed with like Roman, like Roman soldiers and like crusaders, you're like,
there's an above average chance that they're going to be a racist. That's actually
now if they're
fair.
like, I dress up as a wizard for a month. I'm like, you're probably sick as hell. Maybe a little smelly, but you're probably sick as hell.
You know, I don't want to agree just because I would love to have my own armor. But then I also remember all the people I've ever met who also say that or who have armor.
Or swords,
and not
besides me.
Some of them are, though. Like, I had a friend who was really into like Civil War reenacting.
See, that's totally different. That's totally different, though.
Well, no, hold up. But he also had like a full set of like chainmail and plate mail and a sword for like a separate like medieval reason. The Civil War reenacting, he was like, yeah, I don't do it anymore. I'm like, oh man, like it's just like you don't have the time. Or he's like, no, everyone is actually the worst. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense when people want to dress up as Confederate soldiers on their weekends. That some of them would probably be pretty problematic. He said like there's plenty of cool people, but a lot of them and the loudest ones were just like not fun to be around.
I buy that.
But medieval fairs, though, on a more fun note, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of. I've been to two. I've been to one twice. Actually, same one 2 different times. The first time I went with like a group of friends. We all like had like little costumes and were dressed up, and it was a good time. But the second time I was not wearing anything different than normal, and I think I enjoyed that time more because it's really funny to just be like wearing jeans at a Ren Fair because you get some dirty looks from some people, which is funny to me because I'm like. Oh boy, here comes the wizard to give me a side eye for wearing denim. And also like the number of people who comment, they're like, "What attire is that? Where are you from?" I'm like, Fleming. And they're like, "Oh, I've never been." You're like,
Fleming.
I think that there's because my understanding of how a lot of them are set up, right, is there's 2 kinds. There's the kinds where you basically have to walk in costume. Like they won't, not that they won't let you in, but they basically won't let you in unless you're in costume.
That's the more type I went to. Like it was a lot more like, it wasn't as, it was it's a smaller one. It's pretty local and it's not huge. It's over in Geneva, Ohio. If you're
I actually didn't know where that is.
Yeah, it's not a huge fair, but it's a decent time and it's open all summer. But it's much less like commercial and it seems to be a lot more like hobbyist.
Okay.
So it seems like there's a lot of like local people who are like, that's just what they're into. That's what they do for the summer. So like there's no like dress requirements, but it's kind of like a 95%. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the thing, right? Like from my understanding, the one that Noah and I were talking about, it's in Maryland? No, Virginia?
Sure.
I don't remember. I just remember
right down
hearing
along
about
the coast. It's like just south of me. I pass it going to my aunt's house all the time, and she lives in DC. So like it's somewhere in that range, somewhere between Philadelphia and DC. Very very short range. Anyway, I know that one is much more commercial, right? Like it's totally more acceptable to go in and like almost in the way that like you wouldn't dress up to go to a
country fair.
No, I was gonna say what are the village like towns called? The historical
homesteads almost. What
you know what
I know you're talking about, like Williamsburg.
Yeah, the one where it's like it's a whole town and they all act like they live in the frontier.
There's one there's another one on the way down to my aunt, and I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
I know Williamsburg, Virginia is like a really big one.
That's the one I went to. That one's actually a blast. That place is fucking awesome.
It's really cool.
It's like a historical something. There's a word for it, but whatever. So like going there, they don't expect you to dress up in costumes. There are some Ren fairs that are much more like that, and I think that would be really cool to go to, where it's almost they're not technically working for the fair, but they are in a way, like it is almost a public service, the event, if that makes sense. Like it is
kind of like a theme park.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost you are expected to come and hang out and like buy stuff from people, and everyone's there to have a good time. Usually those have some kind of cost of entrance. There are also like the one you went to, which is a much more hobbyist event, and it's almost weird. Though. It's almost weird to show up outside of costume because, like, in the same way that you wouldn't go to like, I don't know, a fucking Warhammer 40K tournament and just watch, and like that's weird. People don't usually do that.
I would absolutely do that too, but
don't do that. Don't be that guy. If you're gonna at least pretend like you're there to like buy something or something. Like I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna look at all the stuff. Don't you worry. I'll hit every single person that's selling things and be like, ooh,
and then buy none of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Ren Fair was like a good time. And again, I don't like when I say that like when I went out of costume, people weren't like, no one was mean. Like no one was like, you can't be here. But
definitely
the most like outside of people who just didn't even like seem to care or notice, people would be like, what kind of clothing attire is that? you'd be like, first of all, why are you all British? Second of all, and then there was just like occasional like glances and like kind of like side eye, you know. No one being like directly like, you are not welcome here, Outlander.
We don't serve your kind.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it's one of those hobbies that already gets enough flack. I feel like it's going to be one of those hobbies that like everyone's like, listen, guys, we got to play it cool for the fucking normies. They already think we're weird.
Sometimes when a hobby gets a lot of flack, the people are like, we must destroy the normies. And you're like, wait, what?
Whoa, hold on. Calm down.
Like,
yeah.
not like literally, but like they double down, you know?
Mm-hmm. They're like, yes, we're weird, and this is now our aesthetic. We take great pride in how strange and odd we are, and all of you can go fuck yourselves. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to go someday. Like, it's actually like a really high on my like would like to do and relatively easy to accomplish goals. I just haven't.
Yeah, it's a good time, and I would recommend it.
One thing
I think it's fun in costume.
One thing I really do hate. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, I think that honestly, most of the people there were pretty cool, and we're just like selling mead and selling like turkey legs, and it was just like a general like a positive time.
I like that.
What do you guys think the crossover is between people who do like moonshine? I'm thinking specifically I'm thinking moonshine and like homegrown devil's lettuce.
Not super.
What do you think
high.
the crossover is between them and Ren Faire?
Super
like
high.
people who
almost
do,
zero.
I feel like
really?
I feel like it's got to be like 100%, right? Like
No
everybody.
way.
Really? You don't think a lot of them either make...
I'm on level with you. The moonshine making people and the backyard weed growers are very different than the Ren Faire people, because they're basically living in the Ren Faire and they don't give a shit about like dragons.
That's valid.
Yeah, that's also fair.
I can see that. The only person I ever knew who made, well, that's not true. I know two people who did their own moonshine, and both were amazing. But they were very into like that scene, which is why I wonder how big the association is. One was really into like World War II reenactment stuff, but but would never play. It like had a whole thing. Like he and the group that he went with would absolutely refuse to be Nazis. So he's probably pretty cool. And the other one was very into Ren Fairs, and so I'm wondering what that like crossover percentage is.
I don't know. I mean, I think like there might be a little bit of crossover between people who are like really into like doing everything on their own and people who are like into like the antiquated technologies, I guess. But like I don't know. I don't think the Ren Faire specifically. I think maybe like metalworking and like mead making kind of a deal, like when you're just like working with like kind of like semi-archaic but also like effective methods of like production. Like I feel like there's some crossover there because you can go there and like sell your stuff and like meet with like-minded people. But I don't know if the similarity comes from like we really love wizards.
It's fair.
I wish, you know.
I wish
more people love wizards.
Why don't more people love wizards? Or cowboys, for that matter.
Which are just better wizards,
as has been foretold. I hate that.
So one thing,
you know, speaking of fairs,
you will let me say this.
I'm sorry.
I interrupted Jackson, but I won't let you interrupt me.
I'm sorry.
One thing that I don't like is the people who dress up like Trekkies and go to Ren Fairs.
Oh, fuck them.
Because like
they're the worst.
Yeah.
Because like a friend of mine dressed up as Ash from Evil Dead and went to a Ren Fair, and I feel like that's one thing, right? Where it's like that's skating the line for me, but it was with a bunch of their friends anyway, and it's just like whatever. I don't really care that much. But I keep seeing the same picture of the 4 Trekkies going around a Ren Fair, and it's just like, dude, that's actively breaking immersion. That's like intentionally breaking immersion because you think that you are being funnier than the experience people are trying to like have at a Ren Fair.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I think it's kind of weird. If you like it, I don't really care that much, rude. But it is, yeah, I think it's really rude. It's rude to the people that devote this amount of time and money to making as period accurate clothing and out like everything as they can. And then you come in your dollar store Star Trek outfit and you're just like, I'm breaking the Prime Directive, so I don't even know what Star Trek is if this is what I think is good for Star Trek. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that anyone who does that, you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems we found a very primitive Homo sapien planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go back. Like, okay, so here's the other comparison that I would like to make, and I feel like is worth talking about, right? There's also LARPs, right? And LARPs are like very, very similar, but also not at all by any means, right? And I feel like there's only it's kind of the same thing with like there are two kinds of LARPers, right? There's the kinds that put 1,000 times and 1,000 hours of energy into it, and a few people who just are like, yeah, I don't know.
I put on a blue sheet and a pointy felt hat. Aha!
And this is my outfit, and this is my character, and I'm here, and I'm vibing.
And I think both have the potential to make things better if they're like both understanding of the other's intentions and like respectful of the other's wishes. As long as they're not like, if they don't try and force the one to be the other, I think it's fine.
I would absolutely.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of times they try and force.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you have to be funny. This is a joke thing.
The biggest difference, I guess, is that like with LARPs, you have like, I want to say like actual rules, but like not only that, but like actual like game hosts and stuff like that. I guess you wouldn't have for Ren Faire, but I don't know. I feel like
LARPing, it's like an event, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's just very easy to be a dickhead about, hey, these people are enjoying their thing. Let me come in and make it about me instead. I think it just makes you an asshole if that's what you're trying to do.
Me and my Dollar Tree foam sword.
Exactly.
But then I think also some people are like, I spent money, so it's time for me to make this about me.
That's also true. That's also very, very true. It's also very much I paid good money to be here. Why won't you just let me be a shitty person?
I need to win.
Essentially, medieval Karens.
Yeah, honestly.
Speaking of fairs, though, if
oh yeah, let's go.
Unless somebody else has something else to bring up.
No, go for it.
Speaking of fairs, as we all know, the best part of any fair is the
Folgers in your cup.
It's Folgers in your cup. Well, the second best part of any fair is the ridiculous amount of absolute trash shit garbage that you will eat at any given fair.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a Ren Fair or not. You're going to eat a bunch of garbage. And on that note, you guys, Michelle and I made fucking fried Oreos just before recording. I've been snacking on 2 of them like this entire time, and God, I love fried Oreos.
I'm so jealous. I'm not gonna lie to
you. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. It was the easiest thing ever, and I didn't expect it to turn out as well as it did. It straight up was just Bisquick batter and on an Oreo, and then throw that shit in a fucking pan full of hot oil. Like, it was that easy. It took no time.
That's when, like, when you mentioned that earlier, that's like, I like deep frying is one of the things that is genuinely like incredibly accessible and easy to do, but I feel like a lot of people don't really understand like how easy it is to just deep fry things.
It's messy. I feel like that's the only thing, is that if you don't have like the right temperature and like your oil is splattery, and depending on what you're having with it, it can be really, really messy.
Yeah.
Especially with,
honestly,
like,
but the more you do it, the less messy it gets, because the more like you start to understand your setup and like how to, you know.
Exactly. And also, like, since we're frying dough, that fries a lot better than like meat. Frying meat, for example, you have all the fats and the juices and stuff, and that pops and sizzles in the oil. But if you're frying dough, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
There's no liquid in there to pop off.
So you guys want to know what I made recently?
What did you make recently?
Love to know.
So like on one hand, I'm like, man, Dan made some junky food. I made McDonald's pizza.
Oh.
Take a guess as to what it was. So it started with a conversation about meatballs.
Okay.
So wait, first, I gotta be honest. When you said you wanted to talk about McPizza, I thought you were talking about the McDonald's pizza from however long ago, right?
No, I don't care about that.
I thought that's what you wanted to talk about, but now I'm learning that you made McDonald's pizza, which
I made McDonald's pizza.
This does scare me. Continue.
So step one, Cut a hole in the box. No,
Damn,
but
nice.
step one. Thank you. Step one was to procure some McDoubles and McChickens. So we got 6 McDoubles and I think 4 McChickens, and then a basket of fries.
Okay.
And then we took those and we put the McChickens and the McDoubles, or the double cheeseburgers, I guess, in a blender. So we blended them. And then we turned that into meatballs.
Bun and all, or just the
Bun and all, yeah. I mean, because usually you would put like some form of bread in it with a meatball. So
yeah.
we figured might as well put the bun in with the meatballs.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so that was the kind of the strategy we employed. And then from that we went and took on step 2, which was to make the meatballs or make pizza dough. So I made a pizza basically. Took the meatballs out of the blender. They were so gross. But they were actually tasty because it was literally just like it was a double cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
You take them out of the blender, you meatball them up, and then we set them on a tray. We didn't bake them or anything because they were already cooked. Made the pizza dough, and then instead of using like mozzarella cheese, we just like kind of shredded up a whole bunch of American cheese. And instead of using a pizza sauce, I made a it's really gross.
I'm so afraid.
You put your glasses back on and face the facts. You tell us what you did.
So, it's so gross. So I took some butter. And then I took some ketchup and mustard, dill relish, and onion powder. So like the 4 ingredients that are on a double cheeseburger. And then I whisked them together into a sauce.
Okay.
And then I took that godforsaken pizza sauce, and then I slathered it all over the pizza dough once we had shaped it.
That is cursed. I thought you were going to be like,
know.
yeah, I put this on the meatballs. And I'm like, no, that tracks. That's not so bad. You use it
Slathered
as
it all
your
over the
pizza sauce.
as the sauce.
Christ.
And then and then I took the American cheese and put that on top. A whole bunch of fries, kind of like minced them up a little bit, so like just make them a little bit shorter, and then slap those on there.
Oh my gosh.
And then put the meatballs on top and baked it until it was golden brown. And honestly, it was kind of good right out of the oven. I thought, and then I tried it again. I was under some influences when this happened.
Yeah.
Really? I wouldn't have imagined.
And then I was like, man, holy cow. The next morning I tried like a little bit of it. Like I heated it back up on like a skillet, and then I tried some and I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever had.
I'm not
Jeez.
surprised.
But my friends and I were like, this is genius. We're the greatest cooks of all time. Keep in mind, one of my friends who was there with me has literally like has a degree in culinary arts.
Wow.
Can they
And it was his idea.
Can they revoke his degree? Is that a thing they can do?
I don't know if they can.
Who do I need to report?
But, yeah. So when I said McPizza, I didn't mean the pizza McDonald's had years ago. I meant this monstrosity that I created the other night.
That's dead terrifying. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what you did.
I do have some
though,
pictures
so,
of it.
like,
I will send a picture.
I'm so excited to see it.
Oh no, I don't even want to see the picture.
Are you kidding me?
Let's
I
see.
don't want it. I don't want it. This feels like I'm gonna see this picture and fucking accidentally summon whatever the fucking McDonald's version of Cthulhu
The
is.
thing is, the
This
picture
feels
does
like
not
knowledge
look bad.
man is not meant to know.
The picture doesn't look bad. That's the craziest thing of it all.
I'm not surprised. I'm sure the pizza looks like. I'm sure it looks good.
It looks like a pizza. The meatballs are definitely. You can tell there's something wrong with them. You can tell the boys ain't right. But like overall, it's not. It wasn't bad.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. That doesn't look
It's,
great.
it's missing. It doesn't have enough cheese.
Doesn't have any cheese.
There's a lot of American cheese, but there's also all the meatballs had cheese in them.
Okay.
See, but here's the thing. I don't want American cheese on my pizza.
Well,
Nobody
do you want
does.
McDonald's double cheeseburgers and McChickens on your pizza, Noah?
No,
I mean,
no.
I'll be honest. That part doesn't offend me nearly as much. Like, if you had just made the meatballs, I'd have been like, "Damn, that's actually a pretty cool way to use up some leftovers." Right? I was like,
What?
I would be into just having those meatballs.
What
Those meatballs actually sound pretty
leftover
okay.
McDonald's burgers do you ever have? When do you ever buy too much McDonald's burger?
And when are you like, man, I just don't know what to do with this McDonald's food. That's a burger. Whatever will I do with it?
Situation. I am just saying I thought it was a neat idea. I am complimenting you. Get off my back.
Whatever will I do with this double cheeseburger? I
Guys,
clearly
I
can't
have
just
so
eat
many
it.
McDonald's cheeseburgers.
And I can't, God forbid I eat a cheeseburger. Instead, I'm gonna make it into meatballs.
I don't know, dude.
No.
I'm kind of into that. I'm kind of into that as an idea. I genuinely am. But the pizza part is where I'm like, damn, you really did just go balls to the wall on this. You really took something that could have been tasty and said, what if
it didn't?
It wasn't. What if it just was bad and made me hate everything about being alive?
I think, honestly, the most offensive part of it all is the sauce.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's the issue, is it's so close to being a decent burger sauce.
Yeah, you could almost salvage this. I could see a burger pizza working, just not like this.
Oh, like this.
It was supposed to be this way.
It never worked that far.
But yeah, dude, I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like it, and I think less of you for it.
You know what? I accept that and understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I did something wrong.
You've committed a crime.
You know you did something wrong, and that's enough for me. I'm willing to fully forgive you.
This is Jackson's confessional.
Forgive me.
I mean, I do. I just am not happy about it. Do you think pastors are ever like a fucking priests are ever like, I forgive you, God forgives you, my son, but I sure as hell don't.
They would never say that, but like I'm absolutely positive there's been a time where a priest has like heard someone confess something like truly horrendous, like because there is a it is a full like non-disclosure, right? Like they cannot.
I don't know how much legal ground there is on the non-disclosure, but I know it's like it's understood that what you say in confession is between you and the priest, but like
it's part of why you don't see the priest. Like that's why it's set up that way.
So they don't know you and you don't know them.
So the priest doesn't see you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But yeah, I thought it was a matter of like if you confessed to a crime, basically, I thought the priest still wasn't allowed to.
Well, I don't know, because even in even in therapy, right? If you
that's different though. That's state sanctioned or not. That's not a matter of
that
like,
is
faith.
Yeah, that is like a licensed thing. Like priests are licensed priests. There's like rules and things that you have to do to become one, but it's not federally regulated. Like
and you're also like I think because you answer to the Vatican, not the state. Like I think it does actually make it. Like I don't think they snitch on you, but I also am not Catholic and have not really ever been in a Catholic church before, except for one time with a craft sale.
Google this up.
Also, really wild how Catholics just only like as an organization just barely answer to the U.S. like government. And everything else is just run past the Pope to make sure it's okay.
Okay, here we go. It's called seal. It's called the Seal of Confession. There is literally a thing called priest penitent privilege, which is hysterical to me. Let's see. There may be a conflict between the obligation of confidentiality of confession and civil law. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruled in 2014 that a priest may be compelled to testify about what he was told during a particular sexual abuse case, leaving the priest at risk of excommunication if he even confirms that a confession took place, or jail for contempt of court if he should refuse to testify.
You know, however, this is not a hot take, but if you lose your job because you won't confirm that another member of the clergy committed a case of like sexual assault, then that's hideous.
Yeah, absolutely. However, the court later ruled that a priest has no duty to report confidential information heard during a sacramental confession. So the answer is...
you ain't got to say nothing.
They ain't got to say shit, which is kind of scuff. I mean...
I agree with that, honestly, though.
I understand why, in the same way that... But I also think that, like, in the same way that, like, to an extent, a therapist shouldn't have to.
Well, no, because here's the thing. Because with therapists, it's... They don't say anything unless you're a danger to yourself or others.
Yes, but I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that therapists, if you tell them that you committed, like, if you tell a therapist, hey, I murdered somebody.
Yes,
They
they will and should tell because they are licensed and a public servant.
Exactly. But so it's
a priest
weird
is not a public servant.
It's weird to me that they aren't considered a public servant, I guess, is the way to say
Well,
that.
they defend a private interest, which is the church.
Gross.
Gross to the church or gross to private interests?
Yes.
See, because like the problem is that like you can't like, I mean, it's obviously like a slippery slope, but like I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if I'm the person to tell you whether or not the Pope should get to tell priests they can snitch.
I feel like there are certain, like, I feel like sometimes, right? Yeah, priest should keep his mouth shut, right? If you go, forgive me, Father, I have stolen this money, right? That's one thing. If you go, forgive me, Father, I have sexually assaulted somebody. No, that priest should tell somebody. That's a thing that,
Although,
like,
the problem is it's the Catholic belief.
I
The
know.
belief is that you are not saying that to the priest. You are saying that
to God.
in confidentiality to God, to someone who is like acting as a liaison.
I
So
know.
like in that
God
regard,
should
I
tell. God should snitch. That's my hot take.
don't want to get into why I don't think that happens, but thank you.
I'm not
Dan.
saying it should, or I'm just saying it should happen. I'm not saying it does or doesn't. I'm just saying it should.
Yeah, I don't know, I
BRB
think
writing
this is,
writing my new shitty cop drama about.
Oh please! Oh please! Yes.
It's called "As God is My Witness," and that's all. That's the premise. Is God is
No, I got it,
actively
no.
getting
But
involved.
you didn't
in
have to say
court
that. I as soon as you said my new cop drama, I was on board and I understood.
So, who plays God? Is it Kevin James? Because that's the only
that's a
angle
good
I can
question.
see this working.
I'm gonna be honest. Nobody. It's actually just like received via skywriting.
Ooh, I was gonna go with like an
Or-
amalgamation of voices.
Okay, or like there's like a break in the case whenever like you think all hope is lost.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Turns out,
And it's always
There's
always
a
God.
key witness at the scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then the theme song starts playing.
It's a different person every time. And it's always just quietly understood that it's definitely God.
No. The thing is, TNT is like, hold up.
Hold up, wait. We already
Hear him
got
out, hear him out.
Lucifer. This is fine, right? We can do this. We can make this happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
like TNT is somewhere
man.
like we
I'm not
gotta
gonna
get the
lie.
network heads on the line.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually might watch this as a show concept.
I would not watch it, but I do enjoy it as a concept. Conceptually, I'm on board. I would not watch this show.
That's fair. Not for you. That's fine.
Mhm.
Oh God. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm just gonna everything said on the podcast. Copyright the podcast.
Well, we have a recording date for it, so
Yeah. Exactly.
there's files that verify that we came up. This is
Original
a
idea.
off-the-air-
Nobody else.
If anyone takes anything
And
even
not the air-
remotely like this is our intellectual property.
OC,
It's
do
like
not
when,
steal.
It's actually OTAC.
It's like when
Ooh.
you send a script to a fucking producer, and then somehow later on they do something even vaguely related, and then they have to pay you a bunch of royalties for it.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm getting my money out of this one.
Fuck me, that's very good. So junk food.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yep.
What is your favorite? I would like to spread it out like a little bit, because like rather than just like burgers and like pizza, like that's junk food. But what's your favorite like fair junk food?
Well,
Like what's your favorite shit that you can only get like either you can only get at fairs or like is highly associated with like fairs or amusement parks. You aren't just gonna go down to
I mean,
McDonald's. and
fried
get this.
food is like the immediate go-to, right?
Of course. Do you have one that you're like, this is it? This is the one.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I love fried Oreos, but clearly you can make those at home. So
You can make those at home, but I would argue that you wouldn't normally. Like, they're not a like you could make fucking hush puppies at home too, but I normally wouldn't. You can make fucking corn dogs at home, but I would normally wouldn't. I would classify all those in the same like grouping of like very commonly fair food associated.
Yeah, I'm a corn dog guy.
I do like corn
Dude,
dogs.
I really like me. I didn't used to, and I actually still don't like hush puppies, but that's its own thing. Corn dogs are the shit. Corn dogs are great.
Corn dogs so good. People don't respect the corn dogs, honestly.
So all that's coming to my mind is the idea of pizza in a cone. And even though pizza in a cone is an inherently awful, painful, terrible food to eat, there's this huge attraction to pizza in a cone that I can't shake.
I'm sorry, what is pizza in a cone actually? No, this is new to me.
It. I respect the honesty.
Wait, Dan, do you know about pizza in a cone?
Yeah, dude, pizza in a cone. It's a cone.
What is pizza in a cone? I mean, obviously, I get the gist of it.
I don't know how to explain it any better than...
Is it like a conical pizza, or is it like a slice of pizza that's just folded into a cone?
It's a slice of pizza that's folded into a cone.
No, it's a conical pizza. You take the dough and it forms around. You form it in a cone and then you fill it with the ingredients. And I don't even think this might not even be fair food. This might be like very specific, like that weird like pizza vending machine type of thing. Like.
No, I'm sorry. You are hitting me with curveball after curveball right now.
Yeah.
You got a pizza vending machine here?
But you've never heard of those?
No.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I didn't know they were real.
They're real, yeah. They're not super common, but you get an oven cooked pizza in like 15 minutes.
Why would you go to a vending machine when you could just go to a pizza place if it's also going to be 15 minutes?
I mean, it's mostly so that you can put stuff like that just out and about for, convenience and everything. But pizza in a cone is like you have a cone, you cook the dough around it, and then you fill it with ingredients, then you cook it again. So the outside's like super hard and crunchy, and the inside is 7,000 degree liquid cheese and sauce.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's there as something that I'm like, interesting. I kind of like. The idea of it, but then I
conceptually,
try it.
You are a conical pizza man.
I don't know. So it just hurt.
It hurts.
I think have we talked about pepperoni rolls on the podcast before? Pepperoni balls.
I don't think we have. They popped up in the server recently, and I love pepperoni balls.
Great.
Yeah. Did you guys know that's like a regional thing?
West Virginia, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It's specifically West Pennsylvania, West Virginia. I was talking to Michelle about it not long ago, and I think she thought I was absolutely batshit crazy.
I mean, let's be... a lot of people are just like, I'm not going to think about the awesome idea of taking dough, putting pepperoni in it, and deep frying it.
Yeah, and I don't know why. More people should be thinking about that. I don't know. I was unaware of this until relatively recently, like within the last year or two, that it was a regional thing. And like, I also, in saying that now, realize that I haven't had a pepperoni ball in like 2.5 years. So now I know what I'm making this week. I'm gonna go find a recipe for that. Yeah, I don't know. Jackson, do you have a favorite fair food?
As I said previously, I am a corn dog boy. Like I don't like sweets that much.
Okay.
But I love corn.
Just corn in general.
Conceptually and in practice, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, big corn fan.
No, what was that? What was that corn we had when you and Nina came by?
Elote.
Is that what it was called?
Elote.
I've never had that before. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked it enough that when my parents were like, "So, what are we gonna do for your birthday meal this year?" I'm like, "I don't know, dude. Let's just make this." And
let's take a corn on a cob, roll it up in some cheese and spices, and say to hell with it.
That was pretty much it too. I'm like, I don't know. Let's just get together, have a fire, and then make street corn. And they had
street corn is the shit, dude.
No idea what I was talking about, so I'm like, I don't know. Just kind of roll with it here. This is what we need. And man, it's just so good.
I feel like that food, like it's one of those foods that technically. Not a fair food. I've never had it at a fair, but it has big fair food energy.
It's because it's street food.
If that makes sense.
The overlap between fair food and street food is in the age of like food trucks. There's a lot more overlap than there used to be.
That's fair. Well, but I feel like, I don't know. I associate like a lot of, because like also I associate a lot of fair food with like the big tents, right? Like there are always the food trucks at the fairground. But there's also the big
tent's always telling me what to do, you know?
I mean, that is actually, from what I understand, that is actually how fairs tend to be, yeah. Big tent do actually be out here. But like, I don't know. I feel like I associate a lot of like, whatever those things, the like food, they're not actually cookers, they're like food warmers that like caterers always have kind of thing. I don't know. I'm realizing that I'm saying this, and like now I'm realizing that I haven't been to a fair in 4.5, 5 years, and I'm trying to remember like what were the foods that I actually ate consistently.
See, that's what I was gonna say when you said what's your favorite, and I was just gonna be like, well, again, I haven't been to a fair, but then I remembered different fair food concepts that I've run into other places, so I'm going with that.
Fair enough.
If I was going to a Ren Fair, though, I mean, you can't beat big piece of meat, right? Like.
Well, yeah, chicken like big.
You can.
Big,
Oh, you actually can.
Leg.
Oh, turkey leg is so bad.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. When's the last time you had a turkey leg, Dan?
Are you about to shit on turkey legs? Because turkey legs are my favorite part of Thanksgiving.
Dark meat is the shit. What are you talking about? Yeah, same.
Why?
I like dark meat a lot, and I just enjoy turkey legs.
Yeah.
Okay, but like it's just. It's not that special.
But I like being able to eat it as a big handle thing.
Outside.
And yeah, if you make it right, the skin's all crunchy and you can eat the whole thing. Bone and all.
Yeah, you get that crunchy outside, you get that that
bone. You don't eat the bone?
That juicy. Yeah, dude. We've talked about
what the fuck are you talking about? Dude, you just have to shave it thin enough. And it's just like, it's a delicacy.
Yeah. Shave the turkey leg bone thin enough. So you're telling me that you're holding the whole turkey leg and it's shaved thinly?
No, he's holding
the whole turkey leg. He eats the turkey leg clean and then you shave the bone.
I've only ever had very bad turkey legs then, because I've only ever had them be extremely greasy and unflavorful. That's unfortunate
because...
Oh man, that's really, really sad.
It's been a long time since I had a bad turkey.
I don't think I've ever had a good one then. Because you guys are talking about them like they don't suck. But I thought that was just like a thing that was a novelty.
Every November, that's a TV thing. That's very valid.
That's all I see on Facebook and Twitter. It's like, can this be the year we stop pretending turkey is good? I love turkey.
I like turkey.
I love turkey.
You just got to cook it right.
Yeah, I'm a big turkey fan.
I'm gonna make a claim. There are most foods that people say they don't like. Not all. Most foods that people say they don't like. Just have been either prepared poorly or have never been prepared, air quotes, the right way for them. I don't think there are a lot of foods that are just like flat out, this is not a thing that people should like. I think that like it's always either you didn't like the way it was prepared, which I think is super valid, there's nothing wrong with that, or the person that prepared it was just bad at it. Like the amount of people that still don't eat like Brussels sprouts, for example, when like Brussels sprouts are the shit. It's just most people fucking steam them, and you shouldn't steam Brussels sprouts. That's a bad Brussels sprout.
I'm not gonna lie. I think steaming Brussels sprouts is fine as step one of cooking them, but then you gotta hit them in a hot pan with fat.
Valid. I will give you that. That is super fair.
But that
we bake them. That's ours is roasted. But I think that pan fried is also super valid. But if you're just steaming them and throwing them on a plate, why? Like why? They're not broccoli. Broccoli you can generally just steam and throw on a plate with like some butter, maybe. Man,
I go back and forth on broccoli cooking as well. I just feel like there's not a lot of great ways to cook broccoli. So I put up with steamed broccoli because it's like, no, this is fine.
Also worth noting about Brussels sprouts is that the Brussels sprouts that you eat nowadays are actually a hybrid breed that's fairly new.
Oh, really? Yeah,
the commercially available Brussels sprouts were developed within the last 20 years. So that's why when like adults or like people remember from them being gross from their childhood, they might have been.
Huh. That's good.
They were harder to cook and they were less flavorful.
See, my dad always hated or always liked Brussels sprouts.
Okay, so he's just living.
My dad too. Same way.
Yeah, I just remember being like, I don't know why everyone always hated Brussels sprouts. This is delicious. And then he'd steam them up and fry them a little bit, and boom, it's a Brussels sprout.
I usually split them and then bake them.
That's what I like to do a lot as well.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Olive oil, salt, pepper, rub them up, put them cut side down, or on that way they get a nice browning on the bottom.
Always.
Yeah, dude, you get it.
They're really great deep fried too, but obviously no health benefits. But
it's like, let me deep fry this tiny cabbage.
Well, not deep fried and battered. Like they're probably fine to batter them,
but thrown in oil.
Yeah, just thrown in like deep, like thrown in like hot deep oil.
I could get behind that in a big way.
Because I mean, like if you like them pan fried, then imagine them deep fried. Because deep frying is just pan frying for people who aren't cowards.
So here's something that always confuses me about Brussels sprouts though, because I'll be watching like Hell's Kitchen, And I'm watching Gordon Ramsay. Firstly, he hates color on them. Like if they get too brown, he's like, these are burnt. And I'm like, no, Gordon, that tastes good. Get out of my face. But then
Yeah, Gordon, fuck off.
On the other hand, he'll take them and he'll like cut them up really thin. And I'm like, what? I don't get the point. I guess it's probably just because I've never had them that way before, right? But like in my mind, why would I cut up a Brussels sprout? Because that just makes it shaved cabbage.
It's already a tiny cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
What if we
Actually,
took
it's a tiny Brussels.
What if we took this tiny
Not called
cabbage?
a cabbage sprout.
Oh, I'm sorry, a tiny Brussels.
Thank you. The idea of Brussels sprouts implies full-size Brussels.
Brussels sprouts
You know
grow on
what?
a stick, and that blows my mind.
Where are the big Brussels? I'm sick of the sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are what you call the buds. Brussels are all the Brussels sprouts on a stick.
Honestly, they better be.
You take that to
I
a
hate
fair, dip it in batter, and deep fry that whole stick of Brussels sprouts.
Oh
if
my
you
God,
don't
that
do that,
sounds
never
so
talk to
good,
me
actually.
again.
That sounds so good, actually.
I hate that you've A, put this in my mind, and B, made me want to try it.
You're welcome. I actually
Curses.
unironically think it's a great idea. Okay, maybe not a great idea.
Wait,
but
so
like-
hold on.
It's an idea.
I've got an improvement to your design here.
Okay.
Instead of dipping the whole thing in batter, you just kind of like you hold it by like the little shtick, and then you roll the sprouts themselves in the batter. That way, like it's clear that there's a delineation and there's something to hold it by. That's not
there you
like
go.
covered in batter. So like the base of the stick and like for the most part, the stick itself would be not fried, and then all the sprouts would be like crispy. So you could see where to be biting.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone knows Noah do be biting.
What?
Man,
I don't really know what that's supposed to mean.
I was just saying words and they came out in that order. I don't know. I'm trying to like get behind a full ass like actual stick rather than a like
A little basket full of them.
yeah. Like I'm really feeling basket more than stick, I'll be honest.
See, but
Where's the fun? Where's the pizzazz?
fun? I see you hate corn dogs all of a sudden now, my guy.
I like corn dogs. I'm not a huge corn like I'd rather eat a corn dog off a stick, I think. I would be more into that than I would be on a stick. I don't know.
You telling me you would rather take a corn dog off a stick and just eat it with your hands?
Why?
A little bit.
Honestly, fuck you. I'm gonna say it. No, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I can't live like this. I'm fighting for my life out here. You destroyed I'm so mad. Why would you just take a corn dog off a stick and eat it with your bare hands? As if the stick is hurting the process.
Fuck. I don't know, man. I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking in and outside the box at the same time.
I'm developing.
I'm working on it. I'm still spitballing. I'm still working on
Okay,
this
so the
new
thing about the
gig.
Brussels sprout stick that I'm seeing is it's actually kind of huge.
Yeah, no, it's gigantic.
It's a tree. Wait, it's actually no. This is actually perfect. Looking at it, like you just cut the the big greens off the top, roll the part where the sprouts are actually growing in the batter, and then just dunk it in.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm telling you, this is a genius idea that we need to be funding.
We just gotta call it Brussels.
Fried Brussels.
I feel like the listeners of Off the Air right now do not understand the genius that we're like cooking up here. I feel like they're just like,
You guys,
they're probably just.
why can't we just
Like, if
have
you're
our
15
own? Why
minutes into
can't we
the
have
podcast
our
right
own
now.
cooking show? That's what I want to know.
People are gonna
Yeah,
listen
I
to
think
this and think
McDonald's
it's the
pizza.
stupidest thing they ever heard, but they just don't know.
They just
They
don't
don't know,
understand.
dude. How could they? Listen,
Honestly,
you can't.
Parents just don't understand.
Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do.
I'm seeing pictures of roasted on the stick Brussels sprouts now too, and I'm just like, that looks delicious too.
Maybe the problem is that they might fall off. That's probably maybe why. Or the transportation would probably be an issue too. But I'm just saying,
if they get like less secure on the stick, the longer they're there.
I just
The
got to grow
longer
my
they're heated,
own,
rather.
is what I'm hearing here. I need to fulfill my destiny. What
No
the
one
hell? This is bacon wrapped Brussels sprouts on the stick.
On the stick.
On the stick.
How long is the bacon?
On
What
a
a good
stick, I mean-
idea! This is
Did
what
they,
I'm
like,
talking
leave the
about.
bacon together,
You can do
or is
so
the
much
bacon-
with this.
You gotta like weave one of those like bacon blanket type deals, you know, like the bacon weaves, and wrap that all around
Fuck
it.
me.
Because like that
looks
bacon wrapped Brussels sprout is okay,
It's
but if you
more
had a bacon
braided.
weave
It's
all the way
almost
around it,
braided on there. What the fuck?
See, here's the thing. I hate when people are just like, and then we wrap bacon on it. But this is the fat that these need. There's some salt that they need. You put some extra pepper or something on there. This is gonna be delicious. Oh my gosh.
Fucking hell.
I'm just,
All right.
I'm so
Noah,
happy.
once the weather breaks, you know what you have to do.
I
must
can't have
become.
the first thing that I plant in the garden be Brussels sprouts. I'll never forgive myself.
Why not? Why not? Why are
I
you?
don't
Why?
know. There's just something
Why
that
are you a
feels
coward,
wrong.
Noah?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
How to grow Brussels sprouts? Let's find out.
And
Let's find
so
out.
it begins. They're easy to grow, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I'm okay. So I did miss my chance to plant them by
Oh,
5
no.
months.
damn it.
Oh, you just wait till next
You can
year.
still
It's fine.
try.
Before the first expected frost. So next
You
year.
can still try.
Next year.
Oh wait, hold on. They're a winter plant. I did not know that.
They're a winter plant.
Same with garlic. I didn't know that either.
Huh?
Begin
I'm not gonna
fertilizing
say
a
that's
month after
surprising.
planting.
I gotta fuck the sprouts.
I'm not gonna say I'm surprised. I didn't know.
Wow.
You guys, we're learning so much here today on Off the
I mean,
Air.
I guess it makes sense, right? Because cabbages like can be winter plants too, right? Or
Mhm,
are
that's
winter
exactly what I was
plants?
thinking. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on that note, dead thrilled to have access to a garden this year. I'm growing tomatoes. I'm gonna hopefully grow other things that are good too. You better believe that
Just
I'm gonna be
tomatoes.
eating
I'm
so
just
many
growing
fresh tomato
tomatoes
dishes.
and other good things.
Well,
I
I'm growing a bunch of herb plants too. My inside herb plant is being moved to an outside herb plant.
I'll be honest, right? The one thing I don't like about this apartment is that as badly I don't think I'm ever going to be able to put like a little herb garden out on the balcony, and that makes me really sad.
You should just do what
Like,
I do and have a little herb garden inside with a grow
With a little
light.
plant?
It doesn't
A grow
look
light?
suspect at all.
I want one of those. You guys have seen those like little hydroponic things, right?
Yeah.
I think I've talked about
Doesn't
those
look
before, yeah.
suspect at all.
No. The ones that are like divided into fours are like the size of like a flower pot.
Yeah, no, people still that's like the weed grow thing.
Yeah, I see that. All right,
Just because you can keep it inside, and also apparently don't worry about it.
What do you know, Jackson?
It's fine.
Do tell.
It's fine. Well, apparently, like the process of like growing things via hydroponics is like generally produces a really clean outcome. Like just with anything. So when people do it with weed, like they can like better isolate like I don't know like strains and whatever the weird.
Whatever the word is that I wouldn't know obviously, but you know.
I mean I wouldn't like it's it's what is it? It's simple. It's honest work.
That's
the
the
thing.
honest work. Yeah.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. That's how I
That's
feel.
it.
I'm like I'm not out here naming strains and crumping with whatever in a petri dish.
I would love to stick a shelf in my office, I think, and put like a little herb garden on it. I think that'd be really cute.
Mm-mm.
I'm actually super here for this.
Honestly, like I love what's the architectural style that's just like
Plants?
really eco-brutalism.
Oh, eco-brutalism's awesome. Fuck yeah.
Where like
I think we talked about
the thing is like it is objectively not good for the environment, at least not nearly as much as it looks like. But it just looks sick as hell.
It looks
yeah.
rad as fuck. Eco-brutalism
It's
is
sick
amazing.
as hell.
And it is literally better for the environment than not having
Than
any
nothing, yeah.
greenery.
Well, I mean,
But-
just sheer walls and tree. Like
Yeah.
you can't beat it.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I love eco-brutalism. It's super
I
cool.
do love
It's-
this. I
it's
also
like-
love when there's like attempts that are made like this and then they're abandoned. So you just have this building that is just plant
It's just plant.
and everything's just like, huh? Oh,
Dude,
you know what I do love a lot is these ones that are just like moss on the side of the buildings, like stripes of moss that are clearly like grown to be just that stripe and anything else, whatever, but it's not like these wild, untamed plant things like a lot of structures have.
Yeah, and
That-
that's part of like the reason why it's not necessarily actually that good, because most of it's for aesthetic purposes and not for the production of.
Yeah, moss would
Anything
work though,
beneficial.
because moss turns around so much carbon dioxide.
Mm-hmm.
Covered
I
an entire
love
building
this.
with moss. Would that cool or heat the building if you covered an entire building with moss?
I would assume it would cool it because moss would absorb a lot of light too.
I would too, but if you've ever like picked up a piece of moss, it's usually warm. I feel like.
Well, yeah, but it's going to absorb all that. Like, it's not
Yeah.
going to like let it through. It's a layer of
I
insulation.
mean, yeah, it would act as an insulator, which means if it's hot, like inside, stay hot inside. If it's cold inside, stay cold inside.
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
I mean, there's probably more to it than that. Like,
nope,
moss
no
is
more to
just-
it than that. That's actually it.
okay, wow, we got it.
I
Well, you guys wanna call it a?
we've
Call it a day?
gone places.
Honestly,
this episode.
I don't even know what else we could talk about.
We've traveled.
We found out how to grow Brussels.
Mhm.
We talked about eco-brutalism.
Mhm.
Talked about junk
Renaissance
food.
fairs and McPizza.
Yeah, dude.
McPizza.
This has been an episode. You guys, it was an episode.
Yeah.
Go us. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. It was a good time. F-sec, let me call up just to make sure nothing new came in. This is the last episode of January. Yep, that's about it. So if you enjoyed listening, something that you could do, it hugely help us a lot. Go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. Say something about us. Just be a cool person and help us out with that, because that it helps bump us up in Apple's analytics, which makes our podcast more and more powerful, and eventually we'll be able to take over the Eastern Seaboard. If you want to financially support us so that we can afford to buy a tank, which is currently the big plan, you can pop over to patreon.com/offtheair. We got, I don't know why last week I said later this month bonus content is coming out. What I meant was February, but my brain just doesn't work that way sometimes. In February, we have some bonus content coming out. So, look forward to that. I don't know. Follow us on Twitter at the Off the Air, because Off the Air was taken, I think, by that Adult Swim show, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Sounds correct to me.
Sure.
Let's find out. No, it's a dead account,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
mean,
at least a human. I
Mhm.
respect that. It's a dead account with whatever. It's not important. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for listening. We will see you all next week in the good month of February.
Is next week Valentine's episode, or is it the week after? Maybe the
Week
after.
yeah, it's the week after is Valentine's episode, which also is mighty close to Jackson's birthday.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say. Have a good night, everybody. Catch you next week.
Bye.